Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PowerTalk Show powered by Business Talks Weekly. Our guest today is helping B2B companies with a solid pipeline. He has managed over 500 brands with $100 million budget. He is the founder of SpeedWorks Social, Anthony Blatner. Anthony, welcome to the PowerTalk Show.
Hey, Navin, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Thank you so much, Anthony. It is our pleasure. Anthony, before we dive into the conversation, can you tell us a brief about your professional journey and what led to the creation of SpeedWorks Social?
Sure. It's been a long journey, but I started out in the tech world, doing software development. Never thought I'd be working on LinkedIn marketing. Early in my career, I never would have expected that. But early on, I started by working for IBM, and I did software development. We would go work with really big companies, do enterprise software development. After a few years of doing that, I actually started my own software development firm here in Austin, Texas, and we built mostly mobile apps. And then in Austin here, there's a really good startup community, so we got to work with a lot of startups, along with some pretty good size organizations. This was very on in the early iPhone days, and there was very few people who were doing iPhone apps. So it was a very fun, very exciting space. So did that for a number of years. And as we were building mobile apps, once you put it on the App Store, then everyone wants help with marketing afterwards. So at the time we were like, well, we could probably figure out some things that we could help you with. And early on in the early days, it was Facebook ads, it was SEO, some Google ads and stuff like that in there. But just most of these companies being tech companies, and overall it was a lot of like enterprise tech commercial apps that we were building. In the end, it was like LinkedIn that was the best channel for these people. So I ended up eventually just deciding to focus just on LinkedIn. And again, years ago, there was very few people doing LinkedIn marketing. Obviously, the platform has grown a ton in recent years, and it's been great to see that growth. But that was kind of my segue to getting into the marketing world, was building software for companies, and then they wanted help with marketing. So we ended up helping them with marketing. And then just over time found that that was a very popular service, and eventually decided just to focus and go all in on LinkedIn marketing, because back in the day, there was very few people doing it. Now there's more, but it's good to see that the platform has grown so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. What is the biggest challenge so far when it comes to B2B lead generation and SDR activities?
There's lots of challenges. There are lots of challenges. I'd say there's a few different buckets of challenges that you're going to go through as a company as you go to like start to do marketing and do LinkedIn marketing. The very first one is being very specific on who you work with. And in B2B marketing, most companies serve a very specific job title at a very specific type of company. So you just want to make that abundantly clear in all of your marketing. I know that sounds obvious. A lot of people's websites sound too vague. So you want to be very clear and specific on who you want to reach and what you're offering to them. And then from there, it's identifying what channels your audience is on. For a lot of B2B companies, it's hard or impossible to target on other platforms. They just don't have the data or the capabilities that LinkedIn has. And for most of it, it's like, for an example, it's like, hey, if I want to target HR managers at big hospitals, I have no way to do that on Google or Meta, but I do have those options on LinkedIn. I can set that industry, I can set that company size, I can set those job titles and go after those specific people. So it's identifying where is your audience. And then from there, it's getting into your marketing campaigns. And a lot of people will start with request a demo, contact us, get a free consultation type of offers. And while that is a very important and core piece of your campaign, it is hard to lead with just that. So it's best if you can lead with value, showcasing, sharing tips and tricks, sharing strategies, sharing case studies of what has worked. That's what people are on LinkedIn to learn, those things, so they can improve their job, they can improve their company. So if you're sharing that stuff, that's going to be better to attract people in. They'll get to know you, they'll get to trust you, and then you can offer the free consultation or the free demo or whatever it is after that. So it's starting to build a little marketing funnel in that way. And on LinkedIn, the thought leadership angle has been kind of the biggest shift as of recent. Back in the day, everyone used to do all the DMs on LinkedIn and the messages, and that was never a great user experience. So LinkedIn has definitely dialed those down a lot, which is overall good. Nowadays, it's more about the content that you're going to create, you're going to post on LinkedIn, and how other people are going going to read that. And then the people that are interested, they're going to go click on your profile. They're going to go visit your company website. It's a more discovery like process now, but overall better experience for everybody. So it's about the content you're going to post. And then on LinkedIn, the newest feature is called Thought Leader Ads. It sounds fancy, but it's just the capability of now you can boost posts from a person. Back in the day, it would only be company page ads. So it just performs so much better because now you can boost a post from a person. And that's why people are on LinkedIn, is to hear from others, to learn from others. So it just creates a much better experience, and they're a lot more effective from a cost angle on how expensive your ads are on LinkedIn. So that's a long answer to all the different hurdles and challenges somebody could have along the way, but things that we see day to day, as we work with clients.
Wow, that's interesting. And I want to dive deep onto the content marketing and thought leadership. But before that, what how many touch points are you currently seeing? Because somebody tells it's 17 touch points, it's 21 touch points till you actually get a reply. So what touch points are you seeing, and what is the best outcome do you see? Like after 21, 22, they might respond, or they might actually put you archive.
So that is a interesting question. And it's not as much about like the number of messages you're going to send somebody, but it's about the number of interactions that they're having with your brand. How many of your posts are they reading? How many of your blogs are they going to read? Are they attending your webinars? It's more about those touch points. Those are the more impactful ones. But there's some interesting data out there. So there's a lot of new data platforms and marketing measurement and attribution platforms that have done some deep dive studies. And in reality, it's actually like thousands of touch points that you need. It's not just 10 or 15, it's thousands of touch points. And for this, we're talking more bigger deals, enterprise deals. So there is a scale there. The lower your price point and the simpler what you offer is, sure, less touch points are needed. But as you get into mid-market and enterprise size companies and deals of what people are selling, like big software packages, then it's in the thousands. So yeah, take that and 100x it. But it kind of just illustrates the point that you need to build that journey and have that content out there. It's not just going to be one touch point, but it's going to be building a journey for your customers to go through. Maybe that starts with first they read your post on LinkedIn, and then once they've engaged, you can then start retargeting them. So maybe then you start to boost your post so that they see more of your posts on LinkedIn. Then you invite them to a webinar. Then they go check out a few pages on your website. You invite them to another webinar. They're on your newsletter. They get follow-up emails. And then after a few months, you maybe are now at the point where, okay, they've learned a lot about you. Now they're ready to go request that demo, request that trial. So yes, that is a lot of touch points. But again, we are talking like enterprise deals. So big price points. At the end of the day, that ROI will make sense at the end of the day. And also it's like kind of like, it's how you have to go about doing enterprise marketing to convince these big companies and these big teams to, adopt your.
Absolutely. It's a 360 customer life cycle journey, right? So you spoke something about content marketing and thought leadership. And I want to bring this thought. There is so many content on LinkedIn which are AI generated right now, and even the comments and engagement are AI generated. How do you feel about that? What is your take on it?
That is another good question. You have good questions. I have mixed feelings about AI. It's great from a content generation standpoint, getting your ideas, getting you to generate some ideas, getting you to start your content that you're going to create. But AI is not good enough yet. Maybe it will be soon, but it is very often people can detect when something's AI generated, whether it's the post or a comment. People are pretty good at detecting that. Whether, there's a lot of AI fans out there that will say that's not the case, but it is still the case. If you're scrolling LinkedIn, you can tell what's AI generated or what's AI generated comments. Yeah, again, AI is getting better, so that might not always be the case. But what we do see work better is adding a personalized touch to your content. So yes, AI is great for generating content, maybe your first draft of your post, drafting some ideas, but then you'll really want to take that and put in your own voice. And we do clearly see that helps improve performance. Take out the M dashes, take out the little things that like AI always says, this, and this, but not this. Always, that's a very AI thing to say. So little things like that, take that out, put in your own voice, add some of your own personality, add your own stories to it, and then it's yours. We see engagement rates are double and triple when you do that. So just performance is much better. So AI is great for content generation, but take it with a grain of salt and then add your own personality to it.
Absolutely. Add your personal touch to it. And Anthony, what's your take on video marketing on LinkedIn? I know LinkedIn was going aggressive in 2024, but I somehow find like they have taken a step back and we don't see so many videos on LinkedIn anymore.
Yes, I do also agree. It's kind of gone through a boomerang there a little bit where LinkedIn did try to push video very hard. And I think we've seen, or we definitely have seen an uptick in how much video has been watched on LinkedIn. There's lots of reports back that people are watching more video on LinkedIn. So overall as a trend, there is more video. I do recommend video, but overall as a platform, and I think just B2B marketing is mostly text based. People want to read and consume and understand things. Videos are great when they can accentuate that and build on that. But at the end of the day, people are going to sit down and read something for their business. They're going to read a case study. They're going to understand a strategy, stuff like that. So overall, the business community still leans towards text. Maybe that will change eventually someday, but overall, it is still mostly text-based. Video is great if you can use it to accentuate what you're doing. It is very good for like a relationship building point of view. Like I do recommend people to do video, but if say you're doing daily posting or a couple times a week posting, maybe one of those posts is a video, but then the others are text and image posts. So don't over index on video unless you're like really good at it and you're seeing good performance from it, because overall the business community does seem to be more text based.
Some great piece of advice coming from the expert. Anthony, I want to switch from LinkedIn to your personal entrepreneurship journey. What kind of challenges are you currently facing to scale your company?
Currently, I'd say it's a lot around hiring, recruiting, and sourcing. Kind of the pro and con of being in a very niche service is, there's not a lot of people that focus on LinkedIn marketing like we do. So it's a good differentiator for us because there's not a lot of people out there that do that. So people choose us often because they're like, hey, you are LinkedIn specific. We go very deep on LinkedIn versus like a do-it-all agency. Like, they can only go surface level on any of the channels. And most people overall have more Meta and Google experience. So most people lean towards those channels. Not as many people have the deep experience that we do on LinkedIn. So a lot of people choose us because of that. That said, on the flip side, it makes hiring very hard because there's not as many people out there that know LinkedIn marketing. So it is more challenging to do hiring. So that's probably the challenge number one right now. What other challenges? Just maybe dealing with the growth and all the AI content that is out there, and just like keeping close tabs on those trends. We definitely use AI. We're using AI tools. We love AI generated reports, stuff like that's very good. But at the end of the day, you gotta have some personality that you want to add into your.
So if I ask you, Anthony, what is the vision for the next 3-5 years? What are you looking at? Where are you heading?
Yeah, the vision is to grow the agency and become a leading LinkedIn ads agency. Be the number one LinkedIn ads agency. That's our goal. We have a lot of clients we work with, and we're looking to help more companies. We love what we do. We love being on LinkedIn. It's a fun space, so we're looking to do more of that. Part two is LinkedIn is developing its own technology more, and there's more APIs that are available, which is great. So we're looking to build some more of our own tools on top of the LinkedIn API. Maybe we start to add in some AI tools of ourselves to use that data and then do some interesting things with it. So I think this will be an interesting space for the next few years, is how people combine data with AI. It's happening right now, but using us to do that on LinkedIn.
Interesting. And I have a very interesting question. I want to break it into two parts. What would be your advice? One advice and one con. One, what do and not do to a candidate who is looking for a job on LinkedIn, and to a entrepreneur, a founder, or a B2B expert like you trying to get more services on LinkedIn?
Yeah. So for somebody job hunting on LinkedIn, know what kind of, the more it's just like marketing, the more you can tailor your profile to the job in the industry that you want to work in, the better chance you have of landing a job in that industry. So if your profile is just generic, vague, then that doesn't give you any leg up on other people. But say if you want to work in tech marketing, for example, you should be talking about tech marketing in your posts, your about section, your content needs to reflect that. You need to talk about your history in tech marketing. So if you want to work in that space, your profile should reflect that. And then same for any other industry. If you want to work in e-commerce, then you should talk about your experience in e-commerce. You should be posting about e-commerce. LinkedIn is, yes, everyone's going to go look you up on LinkedIn. So they're going to go see what's there. If it's just vague, not specific, then that just doesn't give you any advantage over other people. But the more you can make it specific, the bigger advantage you'll have. And then for people for people who are selling their services on LinkedIn, very similar advice is number one, just kind of get started. Definitely the biggest hurdle for everybody is putting themselves out there for the first time and just getting some posts done. I understand it is a lot to go from nothing to creating your first and second LinkedIn post. What do I write? What are people going to think? Is anyone even going to click on it? You have to get over that hump, and the only way to do it is by doing it. So whether you just take an AI generated post or you write your own, you just need to get your first few posts out there, and then you'll start to figure out your style, your cadence, what you like to talk about. Don't expect much from your first few posts. You might just get a couple of your past colleagues who like it. You might not get many comments. That's okay. You kind of have to go through that hurdle of just getting started, and then, you'll build up more engagement from there. The other tip is pick what you want to focus on. So LinkedIn's algorithm is about relevancy. So if I obviously talk about B2B marketing and LinkedIn marketing, so people who are interested in that see my content. If I talk about e-commerce, or if I talk about recreational activities or things outside of work, those posts get less reach because I'm outside of my main topics. So do pick your lane and focus on that. You can still talk about other things. You don't have to just focus on it, but if you want to have most of your focus in those topics, and then LinkedIn's algorithm is about relevancy, so they're going to start to connect you to other people who are interested in those topics. But you got to pick a topic and kind of stick with it.
Anthony, for sharing that with us. One final question to you, Anthony, before we let you go. One piece of advice you received that changed your perspective professionally and personally.
There was a quote I heard once that said, "For the green lights." In your career, it's like, where are you excited? Where are things like easy? Are they flowing versus where are you seeing a lot of friction and pushback and stuff like that? For my own journey, like I was in Austin in the startup community, and just as you get involved with that, it's very exciting. There's lots of activity, lots of companies being successful, and that helped me make my first jump to working with startups and starting my own company. And then just seeing people were continually ask for marketing help, and just how exciting LinkedIn was and the success we were seeing companies have there, just kind of following those green lights to go in those directions, versus if I had tried other, and I did test other services and channels and stuff like that, but just kind of found that LinkedIn was the best fit for all these companies we were working with and getting the best results. And she kind of like made our path clear. Of course, it's easy to understand that looking backwards as you are, wherever you are in your journey, but what's going well right now, what's easy, what do you want to do more of, versus where you're feeling the friction and the pushback, that maybe that's a signal to go in a different direction.
Absolutely. Follow the green light. Thank you so much, Anthony. Thank you so much for giving us time and joining our channel today. It was a wonderful conversation.
Yes, it was fun to deep dive. Thanks, Navin.
Thank you.